Hey folks, welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today I'm doing a reaction to Camille Hedricks' so-called prophecy being fulfilled, take your money out of the banks. Now, if you guys remember, I did a video on her prophecies and what she tries to do as far as connecting her prophecies to news that was already out there, right? And she's making these dreams and visions that were already in the news as if they are prophecy and her prophecies alone. And so many of you know that I've been doing this short series on prophets and prophecies and so forth. And, you know, when I originally did the video on her, I said this was the making of a false prophet. She gave a prophecy that these things were for October the 22nd, dealing with the banking system. And then also she knew by the end of the summer that it's going to rise. And none of those things happened. And then when I began to look at her prophecy fulfilled, she's giving prophecies of things that are already in the news. So anybody can do that. I can just go look at the news and make a prophecy and then go back 6 months later. And if they're still having the same issue, I can claim that, look, my prophecy was fulfilled. And I shared that in the last video. But we are going to go over step by step in this because I'm getting ready to prove to you and show you this is what they all do when they're trying to make themselves out to be a prophet, okay, regardless of whatever was going on in her walk or whatever and how it got screwed up or how she got twisted, so to speak, as far as what is going on with her and her prophetic gift. So currently I'm on her YouTube and she is claiming that this prophecy is being fulfilled, take your money out of the banks. Now, what I shared with you before, that there are plenty of predictions dealing with the banking system that are non-prophetic about getting your money out of the banks and to get your money out of the big banks. We know that a lot of the banking system is going to fail, but there is nothing that says that all the big bank systems are going to collapse. Some of them will. And I shared with you guys what happens during economic crisis, right? Banks merge, banks shut down, and it's going to happen. And folks, if you've been involved with the wealth transfer as long as I have and learning about it for the last 10, 15 years, then you already know what's going to happen with the banking system. We know that the banks are changing over to XRP. All right, so all the banks are not going to go away, and all the big banks are not going to go away. So let's go ahead and get right into this so I can share with you guys step by step how she's making this to seem like she is making this a prophecy and some of the things that she left out of this video. She's sharing some news concerning this prophecy. Now, she originally made the prophecy at the end of September, and then she had another prophecy about your bank cards not working, and she's claiming that she's telling you that Bank of America is a prophecy, okay? But we're going to debunk that.
Breaking news as well. Some Bank of America customers say money is missing from their accounts. People are sounding off about this on social media, and this morning we know of at least one person who says their checking account was wiped clean.
Scary day for some Bank of America customers Wednesday. They checked their accounts and found their money gone.
I'm missing $1,400 from my account, and they're telling me that there's no way they can help us. You missing money too? There you go.
It was a nationwide issue.
I get a text alert and it says my account is overdrawn.
One customer tweeted their balance of negative $2,000.
Bank of America and Zelle customers are ticked off because there's money, or there was money, missing out of their account today. They took to social media to put the financial institution on blast.
So I'm a Bank of America and everybody's missing money. I'm also missing money over $1,300, and they're telling me to call customer service. And they keep hanging up on people. This another person here is also missing money.
Ed, people have been ticked off all day with Bank of America and Zelle. Some of them have said and posted on social media they didn't have access to their money, their funds in the bank. What's going on?
That with Zelle, you know, it's
go ahead and skip some of this because it's already in the news.
Recession largely because the stimulus and other things, even though the Fed's raised rates, you see the capacity of the American consumer to keep going. And so they're basically mild recession early next year. But over the last year, that's been constantly pushed out, and so we'll see what happens. But mild recession, slightly down for a couple of quarters and then back to slightly up and then more normal in 24 and into 25.
I heard banks will fail, cards won't work, the dollar is gone, and I heard the Lord say cashless society. And I heard these words a few days ago while I was in prayer with my husband. I would definitely take my money out of Bank of America.
Okay, so first of all, she shared some news clips concerning about what happened with Bank of America and Zelle. Now, folks, this is not the first time that has happened, and I'm going to share the news articles and everything before she made the prophecy. All right, and I don't know why she shared the CEO talking about a recession of Bank of America, because all the CEOs of all the major companies are talking about a recession. So she's throwing that in there, which has nothing to do with her prophecy, right? And people who are not involved in finance, they are not going to know this, right? If they go to work and they come home, they don't pay attention to the news, they don't pay attention to the finance news, then it's going to seem like, oh, wow, it's the CEO talking about a recession, the CEO of Bank of America. So she has 4 steps to this particular prophecy is what she's saying. Banks will fail, right? So did Bank of America fail? Did any of the other banking systems fail? No, they did not, right? It was a glitch with Zelle, which was, from my understanding, most people's accounts have been compensated. She said cards won't work. So yeah, if people's bank accounts are messed up, of course their cards are not going to work. But you're making it seem like that this is all banks. You didn't prophesy specifically Bank of America. You said the dollar is gone, right? Well, the dollar is still here. And she said cashless society. Now, the dollar being gone, the dollar is not going to go away, folks. It's going to be transformed. We know that from other prophecies. And the cashless society, well, that's pretty much a given of what they are trying to do. But that's not going to happen until the long term of things.
I would definitely take my money out of Bank of America.
Okay, so she says, I would definitely take my money out of Bank of America. Okay, so what does that mean? Okay, well, did you know that Bank of America has all types of issues and they've been having them strongly for the last several years? Right? If you go back to 2021, California unemployment, Bank of America addresses freezing accounts, fraud in state assembly hearing. Fed fined Bank of America $225 million for unemployment failures and described EDD black hole, right? That deals with unemployment. Why is Bank of America draining EDD accounts? Lawmakers' questions about California unemployment fraud go unanswered. Bank of America sued over EDD unemployment debit card fraud. So back then, well before her prophecy, so-called prophecy, she just said, I would most definitely get your money out of Bank of America. That is not a prophecy. Even when my YouTubers that I follow, he talks about Bank of America frequently. And he has been. This one right here, beware, Bank of America is draining bank accounts over 2 years ago. And he's not even a prophet. This article from July 8th, 2022. That's a month and a half before she made this prophecy. So this was going around circulating in the news. Lawsuit claims Bank of America failed to warn its customers they might get scammed using Zelle. And there are other articles dealing with Zelle and the amount of fraud that they have been dealing with ever since they added Zelle and integrated it with their bank account. There already has been a problem with Bank of America and Zelle. So anybody could say, look, this is an issue, this is a problem. This warning that came out on May the 6th from Clark Howard, many of you might know, maybe you've heard him on the radio, but he was talking about deactivating your Zelle in your bank accounts, right? Because there were problems, there were issues. So she tries to make it seem like that I would definitely get your money out of Bank of America as a prophecy. But it's not a prophecy. She just mentioned it. Anybody could have seen that. Anybody could have seen that on the news. And the news for Bank of America has been horrible over the last couple years as far as people's bank accounts getting messed up. Everybody should have had their money out of Bank of America. That's a given. And it's not to say that they're going to fail. So let's go ahead and continue with this.
It will be the beginning of a season of all these things. This morning, September the 23rd, I heard around 2 a.m., there will be a shift in the economy. Banking systems will fail. And God showed me all of these banks and their logos. And this is not the first time that he's been showing me banks. I've been having multiple dreams and visions about the banks. And just about a day ago, I had a a quick vision where I was walking into a credit union, and as I was walking in, I saw like just the whole wall, right? When you first open the door of a credit union, I saw the whole wall was just covered with different bank names, and I saw their logos. Like I saw Bank of America, and I saw like red and blue, and I saw the logo, right? Chase. I remember just seeing all these banks, and it just covered the whole wall.
Okay, so she tries to relate this dream that she had about seeing these logos all over the wall in a credit union that she walked in. Okay, that doesn't mean anything. There was no interpretation. There's no real, you can't even interpret it. Just, she saw a wall with a bunch of names on it. All right, and people should already be getting out of the big banks. People should already be dealing with their local banks and their credit unions and so forth, because we already know that the banks, they're going to this whole thing with ESG, right? They're going this whole thing with climate change and, monitoring your account if you're spending too much. We've discussed all this before. We also discussed how all the big banks are testing out the United States central bank digital coin. And we talked about how during crises, banks will merge. Banks will go through hard times during rough economic times. And we're heading into that. That is not a prophecy, folks. People all over YouTube for the last several years have been saying it. And just keep using my example of Jay Bravo, who's a nonprofit. He is a stock trader. And he's been saying for years, 3 months, critical banks freeze withdrawals. 1 month ago, no bank account safe for 2023. 1 year ago, warning your bank account. Banks don't have liquidity. Banks are going bankrupt. Warning, the banking system, what you don't know will hurt you. 10 months ago, before her prophecy, prepare bank closures in America. Get your money out now. Banks shut down accounts. Bank of America warns. 2 years ago, urgent, how the banks will use the Great Reset to destroy you. 1 year ago, first bank shut down millions of credit cards. Now look at what they're doing. 8 months ago, before her prophecy, panic at the banks as lending demand crashes. So I can go on, and this is just one person out of hundreds on YouTube that are talking about this stuff, and they've been talking about it for years. So what she's saying is not a prophecy. She finishes from there, and she's just talking about accepting Jesus Christ and so on. Okay? And this is the thing. She skips an important part out that she completely leaves out. And that's, she said October the 22nd. So let's go ahead and listen to what she says about October the 22nd. This is her video that she did on September the 23rd. This is about her giving dates and saying God said. And this is about her taking what was already out there in the news, and then now she's trying to apply this whole thing with Bank of America to her prophecy. But yet, the banks will fail, the dollar is gone, cashless society, and your cards won't work. This is not that time, folks. But let's go ahead and listen to this.
So the Lord has been speaking to me about October 22nd. And the first day that I saw this date was on September the 16th. And I had a vision around 5 a.m. on September the 16th, right? And the Lord, he often uses creative ways to just remind me that Jesus is coming back. So I have a Cash App card, and it's personalized. And on my Cash App card, it says Jesus is King. So I have a vision of my Cash App card, and I see the words, Jesus is King. And then I heard the Lord say, look at this date here. And I see October 22nd, right? So that's the first time I heard October 22nd. The second time was on September the 19th. Around 6 in the morning, I heard the Lord say something is going to happen on October 22nd. And I also had a vision while I was in prayer on September the 19th. And I saw crowds of people, and they were holding signs like it was a riot, right? And I saw like fire almost like people were just upset. You know how riots are and people might try to like burn buildings, or I just remember seeing fire, like signs burning. And then on September the 20th, while I was in prayer with my husband, I saw flags. And this is what me and my husband heard. We heard power structure change, new laws, and riots. It will be the beginning of a season of all these things. And then on September the 23rd, which was this morning, today's the 23rd, right? Yeah, this morning, September the 23rd, I heard around 2 a.m., there will be a shift in the economy. Banking systems will fail. And God showed me all of these banks and their logos. And this is not the first time that he's been showing me banks. I've been having multiple dreams and visions about the banks. And just about a day or two ago, I had a quick vision where I was walking into a credit union. And as I was walking in, I saw like just the whole wall, right? When you first open the door of a credit union, I saw the whole wall was just covered with different bank names, and I saw their logos. Like I saw Bank of America, and I saw like red and blue, and I saw their logo, right? Chase. I remember just seeing all these banks, and it just covered the whole wall. So the Lord reminded me, he showed me that vision again this morning. And when I saw this vision, I heard the Lord say again, this is for October 22nd.
None of the things that she said happened on October the 22nd. Whether it was the banking system, whether there were riots, whether the power structure, new laws, okay? So she didn't give much time between her prophecy and this October the 22nd date. And that's what this is all about, okay? Because anybody can prophesy anything concerning the news. First of all, she's trying to attach news to her prophecies that does not make any sense, because that's not what she is saying. She said banks will fail, cards will not work, dollar is gone, and cashless society. You know, people say, well, maybe she's just getting it mixed up. Well, if she's getting it mixed up, then she needs to get it right before she starts putting out the stuff. But the thing about it is she does not bring this up with her prophecy being fulfilled, dealing with October the 22nd. She leaves that completely out. And so what is this stuff? A false vision? Just because you have a dream and you're at a bank and you see all these logos, what does that really mean? That doesn't tell me anything. You're making assumptions that all these banks are going to fail. But I know that there's one prophecy about Bank of America dealing with the revaluation of the dinar. So is she saying that Bank of America is going to fail? That's what she's trying to say, that these banks are failing to get your money out of the bank. Okay. So what does these bank failures don't have anything to do with what happened with Bank of America? Cards not working. Okay, it was one bank with a limited amount of people. It wasn't all the banks. Okay, so she's trying to attach this prophecy to one event with Bank of America. You know, there are other videos out here. Here's one just on banks to seize your money in coming financial crisis. Right, this was over a year ago, back on August 25th, 2021. So there are plenty of warnings out there. What she is saying is not a prophecy, folks. Lawsuit claims Bank of America failed to warn customers they might get scammed using Zelle. So the things that are happening with Bank of America right now actually were happening before to a certain degree.
I would definitely take my money out of Bank of America. I would definitely take my money out of Bank of America.
For all I know, folks, all she did was just look at the news. That's not a prophecy. And I'm getting pretty sick and tired of people saying this person prophesied this or prophesied that. And, you know, and their prophecy just happened to come, and their prophecy happens to be already in the news. This is not really a prophecy. I just proved it to you, that it was already in the news. In actuality, if the people in the world are predicting it before the prophets are getting it, no, it's supposed to be the other way around. It's supposed to be the people of God getting it before the world does. So for all I know, she just did research on banks And that was it. You know, all she had to do was just hear about what was going on with Bank of America. There's been issues with them for, since 2020 heavily. So this means nothing. And I just proved to you that she tried to make a prophecy out of just saying that I would most definitely take your money out of Bank of America. She didn't say, God said, take your money out of Bank of America. That is not a prophecy. So if you guys want to keep falling for this nonsense, go ahead, because just like all the other people, there's a spirit of deception. You know, folks, there's nothing that you can do to convince me otherwise. And I've had other prophets contact me and tell me exactly what she's doing. And it's not all good. So anyways, hopefully I won't have to keep making these. But if I have to, I will, just so that I can educate you and not be fooled, because there's going to come a time when it's going to hurt you. So the most interesting thing is that she didn't bring up October 22nd and her prophecy being fulfilled. Why? Because she was wrong, and she knows she's wrong, and she was not hearing from God. And over here, we're not fools. And we're not going to take any more of this nonsense where people are prophesying what's already in the news and not even saying, God showed me these things, but I noticed this has been going on previously before God gave me this word. Does absolutely no research at all whatsoever, and she's taking all the glory. That's on her, but to educate my people who keep telling me and sharing with me that she's a true prophet. And to be honest with you folks, right now, she is not. So regardless if she gets prophecies right here and there, that's fine. I get predictions right here and there. Other people that I follow get predictions right here and there. The news media gets predictions right here and there. The weather people make predictions all the time and they get it right. And sometimes they get it wrong. Does not make them a prophet. So anyways, folks, thank you guys for listening. God bless. TC out.